Hi, what's up? I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching The Sit Down. Time to have a few laughs. Chloé, Hilliard here with us.
Hey.
What's going on? How are you?
Hey, I'm great. And yourself?
I'm doing well. This is a pretty amazing book cover here.
Thank you.
I mean, not just the title itself, but like, I think I just recognized that there's popcorn all over the place here.
Yes. Every time you look at it, you see something different. Yes, that is a full, real popcorn afro. That is a real popcorn bra. And that's a real cookie.
So how did you get the idea to just create this book cover before we even get into the book?
So basically, the food issue is pretty much thick throughout the whole book. So I wanted to do something that like was fun and food related. And I just thought like what was like an iconic image, and so I was just looking like old images of like Diana Ross and Dorothy Dandridge, and just like saw like these big afros, a Twiggy with the big like eyelashes, and I thought like that would be striking. And so I raised it to the art director like, hey, what do you think about a popcorn afro and bra? He was like, I love it.
Like, let's roll with it.
And that was it, and it was no other like conversation. So I thought I was like, this is too easy. And then I show up at the photo shoot, and there's a real popcorn afro like glued on like kernel by kernel. And the wonderful guy who made it, he was like, yeah, I never want to eat popcorn again.
How long did it take that guy to make that thing?
It took him like a full week. It was 2 looks. I had this one, and on the back cover, I'm also in like a licorice wig and bra. So yeah, there was a lot of like Home Depot stops and candy stores.
How long was the photo shoot?
Just one day, just like about a couple hours,
That's
not that
bad
long.
At all.
Yeah, it was just me just being sexy and popcorn.
So what was it like writing the book? Because you've had this whole career where you were a journalist, you got into comedy. What was it like kind of unpacking things? Just be like, listen, screw it. Like, we have so many diets and New Year's goals. Like, let's just embrace who you are.
Yes, it was really interesting. So I never about food or my issues with food and weight. I knew as a journalist, you know, before I got into comedy, I did journalism for over 10 years, and I was like, in order to be a journalist, you have to write a book. This is before like social media, right? So like, you know, anybody who's like on social media now who's a journalist who has like, you know, 500,000 people, that would be like a book.
That's your book.
That's a book. So I was like, I have to write a book at some point to submit me as a journalist. And then I got into comedy, and then I was approached about writing a book just based off an article I was in. And I was like, okay, well, what I write about now? Because like I'm not in the thick of journalism. I don't really know, like I don't really want to just like carve myself open and make like this voyeuristic diary. And so I wanted to do something that was revealing about myself, but also was informational. And so I kind of combined like my issues with body image, weight, and insecurity, and related to like how other people deal with like food and diet. Because I've been on, I mean, not right now, but like my first diet was when I was like probably like 8 or 9 years old. My mom put me on a diet. So I was like, I've been dealing with this my whole life. And then the more I talked about it, the more I researched things, I realized that there's more people like me in the world who are dealing with our size or like our insecurity or like how to cut calories than there are people who are perfect. So I just wanted to write something so people could just like let themselves off the hook and just chill and like just realize there's so many other things that play a role in like how we eat in this country especially.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are some of those things that do play a role, whether it's genetics or the food itself? Like, what did you learn throughout the process?
I mean, I learned about the food swamps and food deserts, and you know it, you just don't know the language for it. So basically it's like most Americans have to travel like over like 1.5 miles to get to an actual supermarket. And so that means you live in a food desert, and that's like all over the country. That's not just like low income. This is like middle America as well. And so when you have a food desert, then you have like fast food companies who seize the opportunity and they just fill it with all of these like easy food chains, and that's called a food swamp. And so when you're in those environments, like what's accessible to you is something that's $5 on the menu, not an organic anything that, you know, comes with a credit check.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. That's a good way to put it, because like just affording good food is not easy. It doesn't matter where you are in the country. And then also like if you had a busy life, you got kids or whatever, you just need to stop somewhere real quick. Like fast food makes a lot of sense. So it really makes a lot of sense why this has been such a big part of our story.
And you think about that, it's like so easy to tell somebody who you feel is like overweight, like, well, just get up, exercise, and eat right. And it's just like, you don't even have the access to the foods. Like even in New York City, we didn't get like real supermarkets until unfortunately gentrification came in and it tried to tell you like, well, what is that saying about how you value me, that you didn't think that we were worth an actual organic food store until people who could pay more rent came in. So it's just ridiculous. Like, it's a lot of things.
There's a lot of different issues.
A lot of different things, yeah. But it's also funny, so I don't want people thinking it's like.
There's a lot of humor in here too.
Yeah, there's a lot of humor. I'm funny, trust me.
So what's it like using the humor to tackle a difficult topic like this? Because you mentioned it's been since 8 or 9 years old. I'm sure there's been difficult points in the whole journey. But what's it like to kind of laugh about things and also put it under that humor spotlight?
Because I think I have to just laugh at the absurdity of the things that I went through, because I just didn't have the information. And it wasn't just me, it was my parents, it was my community. And, you know, even as a kid growing up, I remember my grandmother was like, you have to eat everything on your plate. If I work too hard, I slave too hard in the kitchen, you're gonna eat every last bite. And at the time, I'm just like, oh, I don't wanna eat this food. And then she would say, like, everybody in the 80s said, like, you know, there's starving kids in Africa.
Yep,
and you're just like,
come
what?
on, Grandma, come
now I got a guilt trip. I don't even know where Africa is. I'm 5, and I gotta eat all my food. And just like it's like that is just like a mind, you know, like a mind twister. And you're kind of like, well, how am I supposed to handle this? I'm 5 years old. And then also now thinking back, it's like she was just doing the best she could because she comes from a hard working class family and you don't waste food. And so I have to eat the food. And so she was doing what she felt was the best thing to happen. But then also she was teaching me to overeat. And so now it's just like I'm forcing myself to eat more food, and then your stomach expands, you eat more food, and that's your new normal. So it's just like a domino effect. And, you know, my grandmother's great. She's still alive, so hey, Nana. So I know she did it with love. So those are the types of things where you can look back and be like, they didn't know any better.
Right. They were just saying eat everything. They weren't talking about portion control and different types of foods that will be good for you. They're just surviving. That's it.
I remember the first time I talked with a nutritionist, she was like, yeah, you should eat protein like the palm of your hand. And I was like, what?
You're like, wait, really?
Yeah, let's not do that.
We weren't talking about that in my house.
A deck of cards. She's like, the size of a deck of cards is how much protein. I was like, we don't have no cards in my house.
And it's different for everybody too. So you can give like these standards like, yeah, this is the amount of protein, but like your body's different from my body. Your body's different from a different woman's body. And like, but the bodies that we're seeing in media for years are not the bodies in real life. So I'm sure that was an influence here around this as well.
Yeah, I was even surprised to know that now today, like when I was in journalism, I worked for a women's magazine, and at the time, I remember a report came out that said the average American was a size 14, and I was like 18 at the time, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna get down to 14, I'm gonna be average. And then now I looked at the studies, and it's like an average American woman today is a 16, 18, so like we're getting bigger, but we're not reflecting that in the media, and it's like, we're average. Y'all skinny people, y'all the abnormality.
And imagine if you had seen that back 10 years ago, it would be a little different, but just like, all right, I'm just gonna do me. It doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The sizes are fake, clothes sizes are fake. It's just to make you feel good about yourself. So, a 2 is not a 2.
No, definitely not. When did you get to a point when you were comfortable with all this? Because like you said, it's a lot of different layers, it's talking about it, it's writing about it. When do you feel like you just found a peace about it?
I think I got really comfortable in my skin when I actually started doing stand-up comedy, which was so strange to me because as a journalist, you're never supposed to be. It's never supposed to be about yourself.
Right, you're not the center of attention.
You're not.
You're
a fly on the wall, like you know, this objective observer, and to thrust yourself in the center, literally the center of a stage, and have people watch you. It just made me realize like I had to use who I am to do what I wanted to do. Like it. Everything about comedy is about who I am as a person, and you can't hide anything.
You can't run away
I can't
from that.
hide my belly. I can't hide my thighs touching. I can't hide my acne or whatever it is. I can't. Whatever is on that stage is what people are going to receive, and they still will receive it. And that was the thing. It was like, well, they can look past all the things that I think are flaws and still find the person that they connect with. So I was like, this is probably therapeutic.
Absolutely.
So I've been doing it now 10 years. So
That's
I
really
say
cool.
10 years I've been feeling myself.
And what's it been like building it out? Because like you said, like we as a fan base connect when somebody's real and honest, and like you're going through stuff that everybody goes through. So what's it been like for you to go on this comedy journey, and what have been some of the best parts?
Oh man, the best parts is seeing America. I know that sounds so cheesy,
No,
but
you've
like,
been all over the place at this point.
And I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so when you live in New York City, you think New York City is the end all be all. And so you just have this warped sense of like what the rest of the world is like, and they don't measure up to New York City. But I met some amazing people all over the country, and I've been to states that I never thought I would be to. I've been to North Dakota at least 5 times.
Really?
At least 5 times. North Dakota, South Dakota. I remember one time I was walking in North Dakota, and I woke up from my hotel and looked at my phone to see what the temperature was, and it said -24, and I said, oh, my phone must be broken. It has to be broken. There's no way it's -24. And it was I mean, just it's chilly today, but like it's
nothing
compared.
To
but that's the type of stuff that I really appreciate. It's just like having a point of reference, and I think like once you've experienced things, it makes you conceptualize things differently. And I think that's the thing that's kind of like lacking in America is like we are so like enclosed in our own little world that you can't even fathom how other people are thinking. So I hope like with my book, people can see, oh wow, there's a woman in Brooklyn, New York who relates to the same things I do, and I live in Idaho, and I thought I was the only one. It's like, you're not the only one. We're all connected.
Definitely. So you have an Amy Schumer blurb on
Yes.
here. Who are some other people in comedy that have been cool for you or just been good influences?
Absolutely. Amy Schumer definitely is she's a real one, as we say. She is, I love her because she actually like uses her voice to help elevate other people, and like the fact that she gave me a quote from my book is just like amazing. Wanda Sykes, I have a great relationship with her. I met her when I was a contestant on Last Comic Standing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I've just known her ever since then. And you know, Keith Robinson is a great comedy mentor. Roy Wood Jr. is a great comedy mentor. These are people that I can like call and ask questions to. Tiffany Haddish has been very supportive of me. So I'm very fortunate that I've been able to like run in the same circles of people who are actually like my peers, because we all like do the same thing. I mean, they do it like to a higher level.
But you guys are all in the same circles.
Yeah, we're all in the same thing. We all have the same experiences, and I've learned so much from them, and I just, you know, hope that I can follow in their footsteps.
And people are willing to help also, because you look at like other industries, like somebody at the top is not willing to help somebody who's coming up because they're scared of that. But comedians kind of get it that like everybody needs to help each other out.
Yes, because you are you, I can't be you. You know, so like it's not like it's a recipe and we all do the same recipe. It's like everybody's recipe is different, and that's what makes it unique. And so you can't really sabotage someone whose life you can't replace. Like I can never be you, so why would I try to take your jokes? I don't know what it is to be a guy, so I can't.
I don't know what it is to be a woman.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we were talking about how it took like a really long time for the media to show different types of women. I feel like the last couple of years things have begun to change a little bit. Like we're seeing curvier women, we're seeing people celebrating just the thickness of bodies in general. Like when do you think that started to change overall?
Oh my goodness, I don't know when I remember, like to me, the quintessential like thick woman of my like adolescence was Queen Latifah on Living Single, and I just remember seeing her every week on a sitcom, and she always looked amazing. Like there was, and you know, me, I was also tall. I'm 6'1", so I mean, you can't tell. I'm 6'1", I've been tight since I was 12, right? And so just to see a tall woman on TV, and none of her pants were high waters, and I was like, this is my idol. This is it. And you know, she was a full-figured woman, and she just always looked nice. And also, I appreciated that like her size was never a conversation, it was never a joke. And so I think since then, I've always had glimpses of like strong, you know, full-figured women on television. And then also it was good to see like women like Melissa McCartney, who is like very humorous and very physical comedy. And you're like, oh, we can do that too. So I think television and media has definitely helped, but I think social media is what helped really explode, because now a woman who isn't a celebrity, an actress or a comedian, could just like point the camera on herself, and next thing you know, she has like 500,000 followers.
It's a wild situation.
It's crazy.
Because you think about it, like when we were growing up, and it's like, it was a totally different situation. Like people were being made fun of for the way they looked. It's like, now you got an Instagram account, and like you said, you point the camera on yourself, it's a totally different ballgame in some sense.
It is a big equalizer.
Yeah. Even like the Lizzo thing recently, it's like, just let that woman do what she wants to do, wear what she wants to wear, but like people still don't know how to handle that.
Now, I do have a criticism about Lizzo, okay? So it's not even about what she wore, it's just, I am a germaphobe, so like I could not have my cheeks not on a stadium seat.
That's a fair call.
That's the only thing. So I just hope she had like a Lizzo towel that she could have sat down on. Maybe she signed at the end and threw it to LeBron.
There you go. That would have been good. So when people check out your book, what are some big things you want them to take away?
I want them to take away that they can just love themselves and appreciate what they have. And of course, if you want to improve on who you are, that's fine. But don't weigh yourself against this like unrealistic, you know, measurement. That's just gonna make you hate yourself more than love yourself.
What about the comedy? You got some dates coming up?
Yes, of course. I'm going on tour. I'm going on tour. I'm going on the F Your Diet tour, and I'm hitting Chicago, New York City, Boston, DC, LA, San Francisco, Vegas. Yeah, I'm going out there.
This is going to be a big year.
Yeah, it's going to be a great year. So I'm really excited to have people come and see my comedy. Check me out. You can go to fyourdiet.com. or ChloéHilliard.com. It's all the same thing, but F Your Diet has like a better ring to it.
It's got a nice pop to it.
Yes, because people are like, what? F Your what? So fyourdiet.com, and all my tour dates are there. So hopefully I can see you there. Come out, bring a book, I'll sign it, kiss a baby, give you some popcorn, just let me know.
And January 7th is a big day?
January 7th, yes, is the big day.
All right, cool. Chloé, congratulations.
Thanks you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, for Chloé, I'm DJ. We'll see you next time here on The Sit Down.